Hi everyone. So if you've been following my videos for a while, you'll know that I'm a huge Beatles fan, and the video that I just posted is called I Wanna Hold Your Hand, and it is a Beatles song. Um, the reason why I decided to do this video, and I'm actually doing a separate introduction video for it, and just because my intro when I originally filmed it was a little long, so time to re-record. Fantastic. Anyways, I Wanna Hold Your Hand holds a lot of, personal significance for me. And first off, it's because I love the song. I think it's got a quiet flirtation to it. It's when suddenly you want nothing else but just to be with that person, and you're not demanding to, oh hey baby, go get undressed, let's go get naked, or anything like that. Which are in like all the songs these days. It's just saying, I just want to hold your hand, and it's kind of like that's all you're asking from the person that you care about. Now, what I like that Glee is doing more recently is it's introducing all these other songs to us. It's not just, like the Forget You song by CeeLo Green, but it's also, River Deep, Mountain High. It's showing a new generation, or at least it's introducing these songs to a new audience. And on the third episode of Glee, which is entitled Grilled Cheeses, which is the Christian episode, Kurt sings I Wanna Hold Your Hand, and he sings it to his dad. And first of all, I was getting like completely choked up the entire episode just because, oh my god, his dad's in the hospital. It was, it's an emotionally draining episode, but for me personally, I saw a lot of, I had a lot of personal connection with the episode, because back in August 2004, my father was diagnosed with leukemia, and unfortunately he lost his battle to it the next April, in April 2005. And I remember how sickly my dad got. I just remember how helpless I felt. I was 13 years old, and, feeling helpless, not knowing what to do, trying to take care of my younger brothers and trying to take care of my family, all while trying to be a normal 13-year-old, which is actually like the worst time for this to actually kind of happen. And just trying to figure out myself and try and understand what's going on. And I remember all I wanted every single time my dad went back into chemo was I just wanted to sit with him. I just wanted to be with him, and I didn't want him to be scared. I myself didn't want to be scared. And I remember, having long talks with him before he had to go back after doing a round of chemo and being home for like a couple weeks, and then having to go back in the hospital, and just me kind of being like, Dad, I really want you to stay here. I don't want you to have to go back there. And it took an emotional toll on me. And I distinctly remember when my father went for his second round of chemo, this round of chemo and the third one before he fell out of remission afterwards. He was down in New York City, and so it was a bit of a trek, and due to visiting hours and schooling, I wasn't allowed, and my brothers weren't allowed down there, so at one point we didn't see him for like an entire month straight. And it's kind of weird when, you're like, well, my parents are still married, and my dad's not dead, so why isn't he here? I know it's like a horrible thought, but that was the truth of it. And the second time he went in for chemo, he got an infection in one of his IV lines, and he fell into septic shock, or sepsis. And basically, for someone who doesn't know what that is, it's almost like a coma-like state. He was asleep for 2 weeks, and there's an 8% chance that someone will wake up from septic shock and not just sort of die in the middle of it. Or at least that's the percentage that they gave to my dad. And 2 weeks later, my dad woke up, but he woke up without any hearing. And I just remember those 2 weeks being extremely tense in my household and with the rest of my family because we didn't know what was going to happen. He was literally skating, like, on the thinnest ice you could possibly imagine. He was at that point really knocking on death's door. And I just remember wanting to be there, but I couldn't get down there. And when he woke up, he was in the ICU, and my brothers and I were not allowed there until my mother threw a fit with the staff, and it was fabulous. And so we got to go see him. But he was so sickly at that point because he had lost so much weight. Because all you're getting, you're not eating, so all you're doing is getting pumped with fluids for 2 weeks, and it really took a toll on his body. And I just remember seeing him, and he looked so different, and I wanted so desperately for him to be my dad again and for everything to go back to normal. And I wanted things to be okay. And I just remember even, the entire time he was sick, and the entire time he was in the hospitals, and the entire time he was in the ICU, all I really wanted was him, to be back at the house, us sit on the couch, put on a movie, and just sort of sit next to him. And when I watched in that episode of Glee, Kurt just saying to his dad, he's just saying, I want to hold your hand, that's it. It really struck a chord with me because I was like, I remember being in that state, and that's kind of like all you want. You're not asking, for anything more than that. You're just asking for the little things again, and it's really hard. It doesn't get easier. My dad's gonna be now gone for 6 years, and not a day goes by that I don't wish he was here. It doesn't get easier. The blow is still there. He's always missed, and I just wish that he could be here and he could see what I'm doing with my life and what I'm doing in school, and help my brothers grow up and be there with my mom and be there for the rest of my family, because my dad was really our rock. So I hope that this song touches someone, and I hope that my story touches someone, even though this is such a small part of it. But yeah, I just wanted to do this introduction for it. So, I guess there's nothing else to say except enjoy.